guys, John here, and it is Friday, and we are going to do a Facebook Live. Today's Facebook Live is all about EDC gear, and I have quite a bit on the table here. But if you guys have any questions with regards to EDC gear that carry on a person, in a bag, anything like that, I'm going to mostly focus, this stuff will mostly be on-person carry stuff. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. I'll answer them as we go here. So EDC, everyday carry, and it's something that I have had a huge passion for many years with regards to carrying items that I thought would help in situations, but also just make everyday life easier. That's one of the biggest things. I think that's a big misconception. We try to gear our EDC carry to tragic events instead of also focusing on things that can really help us, you know, just everyday tasks. And being able to fit those into a system, I think is the next hardest thing, you know, being able to take this amount of stuff and how can we effectively and comfortably on a daily basis carry it on our body. And it goes through a lot of evolutions. And I think that's one of the hardest things when it comes to being consistent with an EDC setup is you're gonna try things, they're not gonna work, but you can't get frustrated and just stop carrying. So, you know, it comes with a lot of stuff, especially, you know, we start talking about like firearms, a little bit larger of items, med kits. It's, you know, a lot of people are like, I just can't fit. It's too big, it's too heavy, it's too bulky. I feel weird when I carry it. So, you know, I'll just kind of talk about the stuff that I carry, options that I have here on the table. But if you guys got any questions, feel free to pop them below and I'll make sure that I cover them as well. We're just gonna have a ton of fun today. I love EDC, I can talk EDC all day long, a bunch of my favorite categories here, so we're just gonna go through. So, all right, first question here. What rechargeable lights do you carry in your EDC? So have quite a few different ones that I carry in and out. As most of you guys know, if you've been following the channel, I've been rocking the SureFire Stiletto for quite a few months now. I really like it, and it keeps growing on me. It keeps getting better, and I can't wait for the Pro to come out hopefully soon. Another option would be the SureFire Tactician. Now, one of the advantages of the Stiletto is it has a micro USB port right into it, so you can just pop in a micro USB plug that you have in your, just laying around the house, on your nightstand, anything like that, charge it. The Tactician, you can also run 18650s in it, just take it out, put them on a charger, and charge it up. There's also, Olight makes fantastic lights in their Warrior line that have the magnetic charger on the back that you can just pop on the charger and let that thing go. I love a lot of Olights. But as you can see, you know, lights come in a bunch of different options. But Olight makes fantastic rechargeables. Phoenix makes some really good rechargeables now. SureFire and Streamlight. The Streamlight, like the USB micros and things like that, also have a micro USB port on it. You can just pull the sleeve back, plug the micro USB into it, get that thing charging. So, yeah, as far as EDC lights that are rechargeable, I really like those in those kind of families and from those brands. So, you know, so as we're talking here, I'll just kind of start with flashlights. To me, you know, a lot of people ask, what do you think is the most important item in an EDC? A lot of people say knives, a lot of people say, you know, firearms, but I use a flashlight. That's usually what I go to as my number one, just because I utilize it pretty much on a daily basis for different tasks. It could be my kid dropped something, you know, under the car seat, to I'm having to walk the dog at night. I just find myself, you know, I never know when I'm gonna leave work. It could be dark outside by the time I leave work, getting groceries in and out of the car. Just things like that. I constantly use a flashlight. So, you know, having one that really fits into your system is really important. And, you know, and there's a lot, like you could get a small AAA battery, even a keychain battery. But, you know, a small AAA battery, a AA, the ProTac, single AA, I think it is, the 1AA. I love that light as a AA flashlight. And then you can get into, like, this is a old 4.7s light that I pulled out of the drawer. I actually modified this. I found this is like a Phoenix pocket clip. I actually took it off because I love this light so much, but it had to have a pocket clip for me. I like my lights where I can grab them out of my pocket really quick, so I modified a light. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't do in their EDC is they don't modify it with regards to, hey, you might have to trim a holster a little bit to make it fit. You might have to, work and maybe make a different, pocket clip for your light. You might have to break some things apart in order to put them in different places in your pockets. So that's one option there. 2-cell CR123s are usually my go-to from like SureFire or Olight. Those are usually what I go to. And then the Stiletto. This thing has just it's won my heart. I love the fact that it's real flat, it's real thin. So for a lot of people, it just fits in the pocket a little bit better, especially for women, it fits better. But I'd also say for women, try looking at a smaller like AAA battery light, just so you have something. Now I will say every single light that's on this table and the Stiletto, they all have an activation from the back of it. If you had to use it, once again, we're going out of the task force to if you had to search for something, if you had to, use it as, a way to use it as a deterrent or a defense mechanism. It's easier to have your hand kind of in almost a boxing stance with your thumb on the back of the switch than it is to hold it this way and activate it with your thumb. So you're always ready, but you can just easily hit the back tail switch and it's always ready to rock and roll. So for me, a flashlight has to have a back tail switch. That's kind of how I always view my lights. But flashlights are, I think, something that if it's not on you, ladies, have it in your purse. Guys, have it in a backpack. I hope you don't carry a purse, but have it in your backpack, have it in a bag, and something that you can always get to because it's just such a used tool. So that's kind of my take on flashlights. And like I said, Olight, SureFire, Phoenix, Streamlight, those are definitely the four that I always look at. So we've got a couple questions here. All right, Scott asks, John mentions he carries a stove. I do. I carry a stove every once in a while, or quite often in my EDC bag. I have an alcohol stove that came with one that I got. Would you suggest an alcohol that can be consumed or used for wounds, or just say use something like heat? Heat works really, really well. Every time I ever used an alcohol stove, I used one quite a bit when I would hike and things like that. I'm not a huge fan of alcohol stoves. They can be finicky at times. If you can get the correct one, if you can get one that's actually made, not like a pop stove, made from like soda cans and stuff, but if you get an actual one that's made, they can work pretty well. I always use denatured alcohol. That's what I used in my stoves, and denatured alcohol can be used in quite a few other things, so it's kind of multi-universal in that aspect. So that's what I would use is denatured alcohol. But heat works really, really well. I just know with denatured alcohol, I can pretty much go anywhere and I can always pick it up, and I know that my stove's gonna run the way I think it's gonna run. So Donnie's out there. He was the winner of our last giveaway for our Gerber knife. He says, thank you. You are welcome, Donnie. So yeah, make sure you're liking our Facebook page so that you know when we're running our giveaways, because you can be a winner just like Donnie. So, all right, Brandon asks, EDC fire starting options other than a Bic lighter plus minimalist medical kits. So, all right, Bic lighter is one of the easiest things that you can carry in a pocket. What I carry pretty much every day is a Exotac Nano Spark. These things are real small and give off a really, really good spark. Built into the waterproof handle is a wick, so you can take this out, you can kind of fluff it up, and you got a fire starter right in your pocket. So I like this option because my wife yells at me. Sometimes I forget to take all of my EDC items out of my pocket. They go through the washer, and this one's probably gone through the washer 5-6 times, something like that. I've never had an issue with it. So Bic lighters, I do carry Bic lighters every now and then. The Nano Spark, I travel a lot for work. I take a lot of airplanes. Bic lighters, sometimes I've seen people get through TSA with them. Other times I get them thrown in the trash. So I know with the Nano Spark, I always have that with me. It's usually always in my pocket. I don't have to worry about it. So it's just one of those things. I carry the Exotech Nano Spark. You can also carry like a peanut lighter. Watch out, some of those leak, just depending on which ones you get. Some will leak and you just don't want that stuff getting on your pants or on your clothes. So Bic lighters are awesome. Nano Sparks are awesome. Just a touch bigger, not huge bigger. This is the PureFire Tactical. Yeah, PureFire Tactical. And this is a magnesium bar with a ferro rod. This is the small one that Bobby makes. And this thing can fit in I was told it was a pocket watch pocket, in the pocket watch pocket. So it's not huge, you know, I mean, it's, you know, I have regular size hands. It's not that big. You know, so this is definitely a way to have magnesium and a ferro rod with you. We'll leave a link below for these as well. But, you know, they work awesome, and then you get a fantastic spark off of these things. And if you can't tell, you can watch the video that we did with Bobby where we set our desk on fire here. So there you go. But yeah, fire options, you know, you can carry these. You can carry a peanut lighter or a spark wheel. So those are definitely some fire options there. So, and then his second question was med kits. I tried to divide my med kits into two separate categories. So kind of boo-boos and aches, and then trauma. The boo-boos and aches, that I see as something that I don't have to get to like at the snap of a finger. So that's just a small Ziploc bag for me. I always have it. It has like, I just don't have my bag with me, but it's always in my bag, but it has Band-Aids. It's got ibuprofen. For me, I take, you know, I have like an antacid in there because I travel a lot. I do have some anti-diarrheal in there just because if you're gone away from home and you get stomach issues and things like that, and you're by yourself, it's not like you're gonna run to the store, so having that stuff really helps you. So I have some stomach stuff, you know, Tylenol, vitamins C, like the Emergen-Cs, I keep some of those in there, along with a little bit of gauze, a little bit of tape, but it's just a small little Ziploc bag. It's like a 2" by 4" that I fit everything into. I use it on probably a weekly basis. I got bums around the office here that, you know, every time they cut their finger, they know I always have a Band-Aid, so they come to me. And it's just one of those things that, you know, in the middle of the day, I might feel like my allergies are just really bad for some reason. So I might take a Claritin out of there, and I just remember that night or the next day, hey, I need to put one more in there. But I usually only keep that kit stocked for about a day or so use. You know, it's not like I have a whole bottle of Advil and an entire bottle of Prilosec and things like that. I just have a couple of each. And then I get back home and I just refill it. So that's what I keep in like my boo-boo bag. And we have a video on this, the boo-boo bag and trauma kit. So as far as trauma goes, I just took this off so you guys could see it. This is a Progressive Force Concepts PFC Gear loadout, I think is the website, or PFC Training, and that'll get you there, .com. This is the PFC ankle med kit. And in this thing, I have a rat's tourniquet for two reasons. Number one, I have a smaller child. I have a 4-year-old, and he's with me, you know, quite often. So if something were to happen to him, I know I have a tourniquet that's small enough that I can use on his arms or legs. The other thing is just a form factor. I have to fit this inside my pants. I don't wear big, huge, baggy cargo pants. I usually just wear straight leg, you know, Levi's. So I would prefer to have a cat tourniquet in here, but it starts to get beefy and bulky. It catches on your pants and it just sticks out. So the rat's tourniquet is a lot smaller. It packs down a lot thinner. So I got a rat's tourniquet in here. Same with, instead of having medical trauma shears, I carry the Benchmade Triage. So it's a blunt nose knife. You can't really cut yourself if you had to go up somebody's pant leg, but it also has a safety hook on it as well, and the safety hook can be used to pull and clear garment as well. It can also be used on seat belts if I needed to, but it's just kind of like a rescue hook, and you can cut through. But once again, this knife is a whole lot thinner than trying to put a pair of trauma shears in here. So I got a knife for clearing garment. I got a dart needle in here, if in case I had to help somebody with a issue to their lungs. And then packed in this part, it has 2 chest seals, a pair of gloves, of course, right up front, a hemostatic gauze, and a pressure dressing. So that all fits in there, and I carry this thing. It kind of smells. I was wondering what was smelling. It's this. Maybe I need to throw it in the washer. But I carry this thing on a daily basis, and it's one of those things too where I wear jeans probably like 90–95% of the time, even in summer. So for me, this fits into my system. If you're a guy that wears shorts 90% of the time, then you need to look at another alternative. So, you know, if you wanted to carry just a tourniquet, it might be, this is the same Rat's tourniquet, but it's in a inside the waistband holster. This one is from Snake Eater Tactical, and this can easily just pop right into your pants. I put a buckle on this just because I like it. Theirs comes with a Velcro, but you could wear this and you know you have a tourniquet on you if you're wearing something like shorts. What I'd usually do with shorts is I'd put this tourniquet on the inside of my waistband, and then if I had, you know, back pockets, I have like an extra quick clot and some gloves in a Ziploc bag that I could just put in my back left pocket or back right pocket, and I know I have a couple ways of dealing with blood loss. So as far as med kits go, Dark Angel Medical is a fantastic place to go find medical kits. If you're a member of Big Daddy Unlimited, if you're not, you need to become a member of BigDaddyUnlimited.com. Go on there. They got tons of med kits also that you can buy. So shameless plug there. Had to throw it out there. They got a bunch of Nora kits, things like that, that are a fantastic price that you could throw in a bag, throw in your back pocket, be ready to go. But there's a lot of people that are starting to come out with like pocket trauma kits. I would say I use the word pocket loosely. They consider a pocket to be like a cargo pocket. So kind of, you know, judge is how you base. If you wear cargo pants every single day, boom, throw that in there. If you wear just regular jeans every day and you got to fit it into like a back pocket or something like that, it might have to be scaled down a little bit more. So that's kind of the medical talk. Other things that I carry in my pocket watch pocket, I also carry a Leatherman Squirt. This thing, I've had multiples of these over the years. I think I lost one in Chris Weatherman's truck. It went into the abyss of between the seat and console, and I never got it back. But I have a couple of these always laying around. The Leatherman Squirt is a fantastic small multi-tool. What I've found is most of the time, it's either something that I can fix with this multi-tool. It's just a flathead screwdriver that I just need to run a screw in. It's got a little pair of pliers. The most used item I have on this is the scissors, actually. I use the scissors all the time. But what I found is even if you carry a bigger pair of Leatherman, like a Wave or a SAR, something like that, most of the time either the bolt is too stuck in order to get them off, or it's just too big and bulky for me. So that's why, you know, I carried a Skeletool for quite a while, but I really started finding that pretty much 90–95, if not more % of I would say the problems that I was solving with a Leatherman, I could solve with a Squirt. So I just scaled it down. It fits into like the coin pocket, and I carry it with, it sits right next to my Exotac NanoSpark. So that's what I carry in that pocket. On the right side of my pocket, I always carry a knife. I'm carrying an Emerson today. I always keep this on my right-hand side just so I can pull it out with my dominant hand if I need to cut something. So, you know, I carry a couple different things. You know, there's times where I'll carry like a Microtech Ultratech out the front. Some states can't carry them, sorry. You know, I love these knives just because one-handed, easy operation, again, if you need to cut something, not having to use two hands. Fantastic options like a SOG. This is the Kiku. I've used this thing for years. Awesome option. On a tight budget, check out the Emerson Kershaw collaboration knives. They're a fantastic budget blade. They have the Emerson Wave feature on it, so a fantastic option there. This is the knife that I usually carry on me every day. This is a clinch pick. This is made as a self-defense tool. That's what it's used for. I don't use this for, you know, cutting boxes open, things like that. It sits in my center line where I pull it with my offhand, my left hand. And this is something that I've carried for years. It's nice and small, yet still gets the job done, or would get the job done if I needed it to. So clinch pick. I also got a Dynamis Alliance. This is probably one of my favorite fixed blades as far as a self-defense kind of goes. Fantastic option there if you're looking for something bigger. Or this is a knife that we've done quite a bit of work with, and the Dozier knives. Dozier and American Survival Co. got together, designed this blade, and then I saw it back in like November, and I wanted to make a couple tweaks to it. We made a couple tweaks to the handle material and finish and things like that. This is a fantastic survival blade. It's nice, small, you can carry it on you every single day. It's got a bearing built into the handle to use with a bow drill if you were to want to do that. But it's just a fantastic D2 steel, keeps a really good edge. Fits fantastic in the hand. You can use this for anything. I mean, you can use this from self-defense to cutting open boxes. It's fantastic at whittling wood if you're out. So just an awesome all-around blade that I carry quite often there. So if you want more information on that, you can check out Dozier Knives or links are in there. See, Nikki's ahead of me. Links are in there. So, but knives, knives are something that a lot of people carry, Make sure you have one that's kind of used for all those utility tasks. Does it seem, I only carry one pocket knife, and that's really just for a utility task, cutting boxes open, cutting mail, cutting rope, things like that. And then I usually have one specific knife on me, and that's, self-defense, or if we're going into the woods, I'll carry, the Dozier knife with us, just so I can have those abilities, because they have different abilities. So really find a knife that fits you. But I put a knife up there quite high with regards to something that you have to carry. What's next? We'll talk guns. We'll talk firearms. Everybody wants to talk firearms. So this is a Salient International. It's a Glock 19. It's been modified. It's got an RMR on it. SureFire X300 Lite, and this is what I carry, either this or a full-size M&P pretty much every day. I carry appendix. I know most, there'll be some people out there just say it's uncomfortable. I like appendix carry. It keeps, for me, I feel like it keeps the gun more in my control, and what I mean by that is this is kind of my area, not a lot of people get around it. I don't have to worry about bumping into somebody or somebody bumping into me and feeling it on my hip. As far as carry goes, I say it's preference. Whatever is most comfortable for you, carry that way. If you're like, man, John, I got a little bit extra love, love handles, girth, whatever words you want to use, and appendix carry is just uncomfortable for me, dude, don't appendix carry. Put it on your hip, slide it around a little bit to like 4 o'clock area or so, and it's all about being comfortable. But I think holsters have a big, huge part of things being comfortable. This is a Veil Solutions holster. That's what I love. Go with. Check them out. Veil Solutions. They pretty much make any holster for any gun, but a holster goes a long way of making you being able to carry on a daily basis, and it be comfortable to where you don't just give up. And I think that's what I see a lot of people do is after a week or so, they're like, man, I tried to carry a big gun, and it's just so uncomfortable, I just stopped. So instead of finding the right gun, right holster, right belt, you got to have a really good belt. That's the other part of this, is having a good sturdy belt. You can go with like a special operation gear belt. You can go with a Blue Alpha gear belt, both phenomenal nylon belts. If you want to get a leather belt, go with something like a Galco belt or a Mean Gene leather belt. Those are fantastic options, but make sure that you have a belt that's really going to support the weight so it doesn't become flimsy and really the firearm starts bouncing around on you. But I see a lot of people, they try to carry more gun than they're comfortable with, and then they just stop carrying them. I'll make the 1911 guys mad. 1911 guys say they always carry their gun until you ask them, and then they say they're not carrying it that day. So I usually carry in this holster right here, this Veil Solutions holster. The gun might vary, but the holster is always the same. But there's times where like, hey, I got to run to the store. It's the weekend, something like that, and I just have some athletic shorts on. Something like a belly band. I think these are extremely overlooked because they're not really used for the purpose that they're made for. So this is one from Smart Carry. It's the one that I like. I think there's also another company like Thunderwear, I think, that makes one. But a belly band can be very versatile if you use it correctly. So this allows me to not have a belt on, not have any belt loops, anything like that, but still be able to carry a gun whenever. And this is my Glock 43 here, got an extended base plate. And on this one, I carry an extra mag also. So you can take a smaller, a little bit less capacity gun, but it still gives you the ability to carry an extra mag with it. These sit really comfortable. You can position these kind of wherever you want to fix. They're kind of made for appendix, but you can slide it around. Easy to get to, easy to use. I run with this thing. You can see it they'll wear after a while. You can kind of see some marks on there. But I can go running with this, and I've never had issue. It's not going to fall out. Plain and simple. If you put the band on tight enough, there's no way that the gun is going to fall out. You'll be just fine. And once again, it's being able to find an option that fits with what you're doing. Progressive Force Concepts also has a small bag. I carry that every now and then. Not a huge off-body carry fan, but if you just say, John, there's no way, especially females out there that, hey, I can't make it fit into my system. Off-body carry, look at bags from Vertx, makes fantastic bags in almost every single size and option you can think of. Maxpedition, there's just tons of bag companies that are starting to lean more to CCW holders that can help facilitate that as well. So definitely different options. And if you guys got any other questions with regard to EDC gear, I know I'm kind of flying through here because there's a lot to cover, but make sure you leave them in there. Drop them in and I'll answer them. Brandon has a question. Extra mag carry options. So I have a couple here. So this tourniquet holder from Snake Eater Tactical, they actually make one that's just a touch bigger, and it can hold a magazine. And what I like about this is it's pretty soft if you're going to carry inside the waistband. I will tell you, the biggest struggle that I have had in all the years that I have carried a firearm is always finding an option to carry an extra magazine that was always comfortable, and it didn't matter what I was wearing. A t-shirt, a polo, a button-up, a suit, shorts, it didn't matter. It was hard for me to just find. And so what I really did was, for a long time, I carried a Raven concealment. I don't remember which one this is. It's a universal mag carry, very small. This will fit a Glock mag, Smith & Wesson, CZ, pretty much grab it. It'll fit in here. I wore this as an outside the waistband. I put these two clips on the back of it, snaps, and just leather snaps. I put it on the outside of my belt. And that was how I carried for quite a while, just because at that point, the magazine draw to reload a gun was the same, no matter if I had a battle belt on, if I had a competition rig on, or if I had my EDC. It was always the same. It was on my left side, the same place. But once again, I felt like it was always bumping into different things. Somebody would give me a hug, or go to pat me on the back or something, and I just always felt weird about it. So for about the last year or so, for me, this is a Glock 19 mag with a Terran Tactical +2 base plate on it. I put my magazine in my back left pocket. That's where it's been for probably the last year. And I rotate through ammo quite a bit so it doesn't get nasty. But for me, the most comfortable and consistent carry is back left pocket. I know it's there. It's easy for me to get to. I've seen some people even sew their back pocket a little bit, just put a couple stitches down the middle of it so that the magazine is always vertical. You can definitely do that, but for me, it's just been the back left pocket. It doesn't bother me really when I sit down or anything. And there's also pants out there. If you're looking for something like the Tactical Distributor McQueen pants, I think is what they're called. They actually have, and Vertx has them, and 511 has them, where we're now starting to integrate CCW and tactical carry into everyday jeans, everyday khakis, and they actually have small magazine pockets built into them that are kind of next to the back pocket. I wear a couple of those pairs of pants also. It slides right in there. But that's how I've been carrying a spare mag for over a year now. I've taken training classes with it where I literally didn't take a mag carrier, just used my back pocket to train for how I carry. And it works really well for me. So as far as mags go, you can try Veil Solutions makes, extra mag carriers. The Raven Concealment one I used for quite a while. If you want something soft, I would go with the Snake Eater Tactical. It's pretty comfortable for an inside the waistband, or carry it in your back pocket. There's also NSR Holsters. They make like a front pocket holster that goes inside your front pocket, and it just orients the mag upright, so it doesn't kind of move around inside your front pocket, that you can just easily reach in, pull it out. So if that's something that might interest you as well, check out NSR for that. So, but that's really how I've carried. Ashley asks, what about shoulder holsters? Shoulder holsters is an option. It is. It's kind of not talked about as much. For a shoulder holster, you really got to have a button-down shirt on, or you got to wear a jacket over the top of it. Living in Florida and in business that I run here, I don't wear jackets that often, and it's not that cold. So, shoulder holsters, you can look at something like the Galco Miami series is a fantastic, holster option. It does give you the ability to carry guns in a different place, and it's usually a cross draw, or it is a cross draw. So there's some training that has to go into that. It's something that's doable, and I don't have anything against it really. It's just something that I don't utilize it that often, or I don't utilize it at all. So it's just one of those things where for me, I'm a kind of a bigger, huskier kind of guy. So for me, just under my arms, it just makes me wider. And, and most of the time I'm just wearing polo shirts or button-down shirts. So it'd be really hard, I'd have to like rip buttons off in order to get to my firearms. So I would just prefer to appendix carry. But, for some people, they might feel that it's the best option. Some of the Galco rigs, you can have the gun, it'd be on your opposite side, and you can carry extra mags on the other side. So, you can, if it works for you and you can do it on a consistent basis, I have no issue with it, as long as, you can still get the thing out, in a safe and timely manner. So, if it works for you, rock on. So magazines, holsters, flashlight, knives. I carry, I think one of the most overlooked things, I carry a wallet. And I think one of the most overlooked things is just having cash. As a survival thing, as an everyday kind of thing, money can get you out of a lot of different problems. It could be the credit card machines are down and you need gas. It could be, you need a night in a hotel and, the power's out. You just need a place to shelter. It could be you need water or food. Anything like that, cash is always something that when you don't need it, you usually need it, So I try to always have cash on me. I have a little bit extra today because somebody gave me some cash. But, I always try to have, it's funny, when people say cash, how much should you carry? We go down the survival realm of you should have 10 tens, or, you should have only small bills. You should have, a 20, a 10, a 5, and 5 ones. There's so many different ways to split it. When it comes to cash, if we're talking, on my EDC, in my EDC bag, I keep cash also on a daily basis, just because I travel. I never know what I'm about to incur. In a bug out bag, I say carry as much as you can afford, because the more money you have, the bigger the problem you can solve. It could be one of those things where I tell people the story of 9/11. I had a friend in New York that was just there on vacation, was really nowhere near the World Trade Center, but out of nowhere, halted every single plane. They were supposed to leave on the 12th. Planes were completely grounded, not going anywhere, and rental cars were like flying. They're just going away like the dodo bird. And it got to the point that the enterprise was only taking cash. They were having so many issues with the credit card machines and, power lines and telephone lines and things like that to keep everything working, that they were only taking cash. And the fact that he had enough money to rent a car, was able to drive home, was one of the reasons why he got out of that situation. So always make sure you have cash on you. So in my right pocket, I keep my Firestarter, my Leatherman. In the small pocket, I keep my knife, my wallet, and cash. In my left pocket, just so you guys are keeping track here, I always keep my flashlight on my left side. I got some Listerine strips because nobody likes bad breath. Well, I don't know if you do, but I don't. And then I keep my car keys in there also. So my left pocket's kind of just my admin pocket. In my back left pocket, I keep, like I told you, my spare mag, and I also keep a small Sere kit. So this is something, this is an ITS Tactical. Nicky will leave what it is. He knows what it is.
Spy pouch.
Spy pouch. S-P-I-E.
Special purposes insertion extraction.
Special purposes insertion extraction. Yeah. See, Nicky's smarter than I am. But this is the spy pouch. I love this thing. Inside of it, so I keep 2 bobby pins right on the outside just in case I need to clip something. I always have them. But on the inside, I have cash in here. Once again, I have a $20 bill in here. I have another quick tab. I have a little bit of cordage in here. I got lockpick kits. I got a compass. I got a signal mirror. What else do I have in here? I got a bunch of stuff. Some things to disable handcuffs if I needed to. Small razor blade and a ferro rod. So all of that fits into this nicely packaged, extremely durable ITS Tactical Spy Pouch. This thing is just super small. It's been with me everywhere I go. I've never had an issue with TSA. You know, and there's things in here. Listen, you get some of those guys that that'll say like, "Whoa, are you expecting to be kidnapped today?" I don't think the people that are even kidnapped are expecting to be kidnapped that day. So you never know what's going to happen to you. But this thing also, it goes past the Sere part of it. You know, the lock picks. It's a hobby that I have. I'm pretty dang good at it. But I've helped. You know, friends of mine have called and like, dude, I just locked my keys in my house. Are you nearby? I've opened their front doors for them. I've opened doors here around the office that got locked from the inside somehow. So this thing has come into use more than times can count. And it's so small, it's just something that I've carried for a long time. And this adds a little bit of peace of mind. I know I can start a fire with it. I know I can signal for help with it. I got a compass in there. And it all fits into a small package. So that's been in my left rear pocket for quite a long time. And then in my back pocket, probably the item we use more than anything, my cell phone goes in my back pocket. So iPhone 10, you know, and make sure you add apps in there that can help you, you know, compass apps, map apps. You know, you can put survival manuals in there. You can download Survival Dispatch Insider to it and have all that information as well. So if you're not an Insider member, make sure you click the link below and become one today because there's awesome information in there. So, yeah. All right, Jason has a question kind of with regards to money, so we'll go with it. When you travel, do you carry silver or gold? The quick answer is when I flew international with a job that I had previous to here, I always had some 10th ounce gold bars on me. So you're talking anywhere from $100 to $120, kind of depending on where price of gold is sitting at that point. But gold and silver, it is a universal world currency. So, you know, it'd be one of those things where if I ever felt like I was in a situation where I needed to grease some wheels to get something to happen, I had some. So yeah, I usually carried it in a 1/10 ounce brick. They're just real thin, real small. But yeah, that's what I did. And I knew that at the end of the day, listen, gold is a universal language. You know, you have no clue what the conversion rate of any other, you know, dollar to yen or pesos or anything like that, but everyone knows what gold costs. So it's something that can really help you. Now, when I travel stateside, I pretty much never have any on me, just because usually cash, you know, US dollar can get everything done more efficiently. You know, you walk in and if you had to use it, like I can't rent a car and be like, hey, gold. But if I have $200, I can get a car, you know, or a hotel room or something like that. But when I used to have to go overseas quite a bit, I would definitely always have some gold tucked in on me there. So yeah. Let's see if you have any more questions, feel free to leave them below. What else am I missing here? If you haven't checked out the Survival Dispatch Insider yet, make sure you do it. It is a monthly PDF magazine that we put together, beautiful editorial piece, usually around 70 to 80 pages, all on one topic. The last 2 months, we dove into the topic of bartering. So we got volume 1 and volume 2, 14-day free trial. So click the link, become a member today. We have over, I think the last count, we have 20 issues. 20 issues, all on different topics. We have over 4,000 pages of information. So if you're looking for information on survival stuff, anything from hunting, fishing, urban survival, get home bags, bartering, you name the topic, it's pretty much in there. Communications, radios, it's in there. So go check out the Insider. You'll also get tons of bonus information and access to our private Facebook group and things like that. So make sure you check out the Insider. I think that's it. Oh, a watch. Watch. I try to make my watch as multi-purpose as possible. I've been carrying the Suunto Core. I've had this watch for like 8 years. People ask me all the time. It's an old watch. It's pretty beat, but gives me, altimeter, barometer, digital compass, things like that that can really help in a survival situation. And that's pretty much my EDC loadout. That's what I carry on a daily basis. What I'll probably do is if you guys are interested, I can do a bag dump on here also, because I keep a lot more stuff in my backpack that I carry, with me every single day. It goes everywhere I go. It's sitting at my desk. It's in my car. It's under my seat of the plane. So, whatever other questions you have. Oh, Chad has a question here. Being that it's hurricane season, yes it is. We live in Florida. Do you plan on doing any hurricane preparedness stream videos? Yes. So within the next week or two, probably in 2 weeks, Chad. Next week, Wednesday the 19th, I believe that's what we're doing, Nikki? Yes. Wednesday the 19th, we are going to have our friend, one of our writers, Nick Meacher, here in studio with Chris and I. Nick's going to be here for a couple days. We're going to be doing a ton of videos on ham radios, on scanners, Nick is like a radio communications guru. So he's going to have a ton of information here. So next week's live is probably going to be on radios and communication gear. And then the week after that, we are going to dive into hurricane season. Now, we do have an issue of the Insider already on storm season that covers a ton of information on hurricanes. If that's, if you're looking for information right now, go check that out. But yes, we will be doing a live, so make sure you stick around and you'll be able to ask questions on that. With Chris and I both living in Florida, we are pretty knowledgeable when it comes to dealing with storms. So I hate the things. But anyway, so that pretty much is it, guys. If you have any other questions with regards to EDC gear, feel free to leave them below. We'll be around for the next couple days and we'll answer them. If you guys have any other topics that you want to see us do live streams on so you can ask questions, feel free to leave those below. Make sure you check out the Insider, and until next time, be safe.